Welcome, everybody, to Casting for Two, the podcast hosted by the one and only Mr. Chris. That is me. I am Mr. Chris. I am that guy that I am speaking of. Welcome to episode 111, 111, 23 reversed. Before I get into the guest, as always, I want to thank you for listening. And if you would like to contact me, do it on Twitter at Casting4Two. Of course, my sponsor, as always, for these past couple of episodes, Comic Bento. It's a monthly subscription box where you get awesome graphic novels, not these little single trade issues. You get full graphic novels, and it's wonderful. Click on the link to sign up, and depending on which level you get, $17 to $20, and it is awesome. I've had a blast reading my comics that I got in. And so sign up for December's, which is Throwback. So go do that, okay? If you like awesome things, you should do it. If you don't like awesome things, you should still do it, because if this will, it'll elevate your awesomeness. But let's get into my guest for today. My guest is from the band Blue Skies for Black Hearts, Mr. Pat Kearns. He's a very talented singer, songwriter, musician, and I just had a wonderful time chatting with him. And I recommend everybody go out and get the latest album and listen to it many times. Get two copies, one for like MP3, so you can put on your MP3, whatever, but a CD, and just leave it in your car at all times. That's what you should do. And I should start this episode. So, Chris, cue the music, please.
I got this thing working.
Awesome. Sounds good. Yeah, I love technology, but also it's, it can be a bitch sometimes.
Yep.
But what are you going to do without it?
Yep.
I always said that I would love to just go, buy a log cabin, go in the woods of Oregon, and just live there. But then I'll be like, I like Wi-Fi too much.
Yeah.
So, there goes that. But how's your morning going so far?
It's been a little hectic, but
Yeah.
I think it's going to be okay.
Okay, right on.
How about you?
It's not been hectic, but it's just been busy.
Yeah.
Just, cleaning, stuff like that. Normal Friday morning stuff.
That's cool. Did Katie say that you were going to Disneyland or something like that today, like a few days ago, or don't you have something going on?
I am. No, today is my niece's birthday.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to Disneyland. All right, see you later. Okay, I'm actually recording this from a roller coaster. I'm on Space Mountain right now.
I'd be jealous.
Yeah, no, it's my niece's birthday, so we're gonna spend the day after this with her, and she's the big one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So, but I'm happy that I'm able to chat with you. I was listening to the band Blue Skies for Black Hearts, and I was just enjoying the crap out of it.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. No, the one song that got me was what's that? Waiting to Run.
Ah, yeah, that's one of my favorites too.
Yeah, it's the jam at the end was just oh geez, I could listen to an album of just that jam.
Thank you.
But I'd like to know a little bit about your background. I always like to know when musicians get the music bug.
Uh, Pretty early on for me. I mean, I didn't know what it was when I got it. But I can remember like some of my earliest memories are taking. My mom had one of those record players that like they're a little box and the top flips up and you can
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
play 45s on them.
Uh huh.
And so when I was really young, like that was around,
Uh huh.
and the box of 40 her 45s from the 50s and early 60s was also around. And I used to drag it into my bedroom had a closet that was like it was like a weird little room. It ended up being a walk-in closet or whatever, but that's not
Uh
really. It makes it sound like the house was luxurious. It was just kind of a
huh.
weird room
Yeah.
off the side of my room. But it happened to have like wood floors
Mm.
and stuff in this, and the rest of the house was carpeted. And I used to drag the record player into that room and play it onto those floors and play her 45s, which were like a lot of Elvis and
Mm-hmm.
Everly Brothers and stuff like that. Uh, because it sounded really good in that room. And I didn't know why, and I didn't know why I liked that stuff and what was going on. But
Mm-hmm.
that was one of the first attractions. And my father also had like a old Macintosh stereo that lit up with beautiful green lights, and I still have that. And music sounds amazing coming out of it. And we had these big old Altec speakers, and I was really into just that. And so I learned how to work the record player at a young age, and would pull a chair up to the stereo cabinet and climb up on the chair so that I could open the cabinet and turn it on and
Mm-hmm.
put the records on. And we had a set of headphones, and I would listen on headphones. And it was just something I really liked to do.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I remember growing up with one of those boxes as well. But it had a like a painted on rainbow,
Hmm.
and it could only play the 7-inch LPs and stuff like that. But I regret kind of I was a kid, so I didn't have the adult mentality of taking care of your things.
Uh huh.
So
Yep.
I remember when the needle broke, I just put a thumbtack in there, expecting it to work the exact same way. And people at home, it does not. So, but I didn't have any cool. My parents never gave me any records. They were just whatever, like learning stuff. So I didn't mind destroying that stuff.
Yeah, my parents they weren't really music people.
Hmm.
Like my mom was around the theater and she liked musicals
Yeah.
and stuff. But and my dad collected some records, but he really collected records because his friends were into it, and so
Hmm.
when they would come over, like so that, it would be there. So
Gotcha. Well, see, my dad's the music collector, and he just kept that stuff away from us. He if anything happened to his Chicago or Tower Power records, that'd be the end of it. It wasn't until probably a couple years ago when I started getting into vinyl collecting. I was, hey Dad, let me see your collection, and we had moved a couple of times, so some records were warped and stuff like that. And
hmm.
my records, which are in milk crates, they have plastic sleeves on them, like fully taken care of. I go, maybe you should, take care of your collection better. And he laughed and nope. But I took his Superman soundtrack, the original one, and his Michael Jackson Thriller, just because I feel like my collection's pretty new. I have a lot of new stuff in there.
Uh-huh.
I feel like if I have those two, people would be like, "Oh, he okay."
He's been around.
It gives it some legitimacy. That at least that's what I've said in my mind. But are you still a vinyl collector?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I actually listen to kind of any format I can get my hands
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
But I like vinyl a lot. I like reading credits on
Hmm.
records, know who did what and that kind of thing. And That's where most of the credits reside these days, you know. So
Yeah, or that's where they reside, where it's actually where you can actually read the name,
yeah,
unlike CDs, where it's tiny.
yeah, tiny, and a lot of the like I've noticed that a lot of the printing of like CDs these days it's just not quite as good as it used to be, and so that small text isn't really
Hmm.
all that readable.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree, but I definitely do love picking up vinyl nowadays. I feel like I'm making more of a contribution to the artist when I do. I don't know why, but, yeah.
Yeah, I think I mean the artist is probably making less money, but
Yeah.
it's more of a I think it's more of a fan involvement or a listener involvement.
Yeah, yeah,
And I don't know, as an artist, as somebody who puts out music and that kind of thing, I mean that's what you're really after. So
yeah. Well, there you go. So earlier I was hearing. Do you have a cat there?
yeah, she's sitting right next to me. She's really noisy,
It's all good. What's her name?
sassy,
Sa-
sassafras.
Sassafras. Okay. Now I'm assuming because she's a sassy cat.
She's very talkative.
Okay.
She and very friendly.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, she's a good cat.
Right on. So when did it hit you that music was going to be something you could legitimately do? Like, was there a point where you said, you know what, I should start doing albums?
Um, well, I didn't mean to get into it.
Mm,
I was passionate about it. I didn't really know. I mean, I knew that you could do it as a career. I knew that there were guys out there, but I also didn't like. I didn't have any connection into that world. Like, I couldn't see that world. That world just seemed, you know, it was like I had as good a chance as, working in a recording studio as becoming the next Tom Cruise or whatever, and
right.
being an actor in front of the camera. It just didn't seem realistic. And I saw the ads in the back of Rolling Stone for there was when I was young, there was one recording school and it was in Florida, and I just was like, why is this in Florida? Didn't make any sense to me. And so I didn't pursue that like as I got out of high school, and I went to college and I went to University of Washington
Hmm.
and studied science, but I was just constantly involved in music, and I was in bands, and I found, it was kind of the dawn of lo-fi recording studios when I was around that. And so like all these small like basement studios started opening. Basically there was some technology I think that came out in the beginning in the mid to late 80s that allowed a lot of these studios to open, and when I started to get involved in things in the 90s, they were around. And so
Hmm.
the first studio that I had an experience in was, in somebody's basement and that kind of thing. And uh, I just kind of watched them work, and I was like, within 5 minutes, like I was helping them out, like with signal flow and chasing things down.
Hmm.
And so it was pretty natural, like for me, and I just kind of hopped into it. And a couple people who were involved in that scene kind of took me under their wing and taught me about microphones, and I started collecting things and eventually moved to Portland. And I was setting up in the living room of my house just like randomly with gear, and it was hard. And then my roommate's dad had space in his basement, and he was just like, this is ridiculous. Like, he's like, let's bump this up a level for you. And so I started out with my own basement studio then
Hmm.
here, and did a bunch of great records there, like Guitar Romantic by the Exploding Hearts and Troubadour Stomp by Pat McDonald.
Hmm.
And at one point, like Larry Crane, who runs Jackpot Recorders, he found out about me and asked me to start working at Jackpot. And that was the first like real legit studio I worked out of
Hmm.
for a while, like
Yeah.
where we had 2-inch tape machines, and we had the board wasn't great, but we had,
Uh-huh.
it was a better board than what I had in my place. And
Yeah.
uh, just started to learn more, and it just kind of snowballed and kept going, and I couldn't escape. And uh, I made a couple goes at it, like to go full professional, like get rid of my day job,
Mm-hmm.
unsuccessfully in the '90s. Uh, and but things were like continuing to get better for me, and continuing to go. And then I got really busy in the last 15 years or so,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's been maybe not 8 or 9 years now. I think that I haven't had a day job. And it
Wow.
was a lot, though. Like, I didn't realize it. I was killing myself by working full time uh, in the Oregon Health Science University Library as their like copyright guy,
Uh-huh.
and uh, and then working 40 to 60 hours a week in the studio.
Yeah.
And I was just dying. And the lady who became my wife was just like, "We're not doing this You're not doing this anymore." And kind of like we reorganized like how we were, our finances were and things like that. And we moved into the loft of her business and rented out my house to, cut our expenses. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been full time ever since, and it just keeps getting better. And I don't know, it was not I didn't have the moment where like, oh my gosh, like this is gonna happen.
Yeah. It'll come to you one day.
I feel like things that have happened recently, I feel like things are better than ever, and like I just got to maintain the path.
Yeah.
But so I feel like more comfortable now than I've ever been in
Okay.
my
Okay.
career. Like, I can think of as recently as probably 3 years ago, even 2 years ago, I almost threw the towel in and just get frustrated.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Just
No.
keep going, and it has its major ups and downs, but
Mm-hmm.
things are generally up these days.
There we
So
go. That's always good. I mean, better. Well, but then again, when things are up, it makes you appreciate all the down moments.
yeah, I haven't had like any time to myself
Uh-huh.
since 2014.
Uh,
So yeah, you do appreciate those. I'm hoping to get a few days off
there we go.
coming up so that I can do some writing and take care of some things. But
Okay.
you know,
Well,
it'll happen. It always does.
I'm curious. What's your writing process like for music?
Um,
Well,
it's
music and lyrics.
it's always different,
Mm-hmm.
really. But I mean, like the general thing is I'm just constantly collecting ideas for songs, whether they be lyrical ideas or short musical snippets or things, and I keep all those things in like a collection. I've got an email that I keep in my draft that like
Yeah.
I keep lyrical ideas in, and then I'm constantly like humming melodies in my phone or playing things on the guitar. And then like for me, like I'm not really a great co-writer with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Like at the moment, like I have to sit and think, and it's something like I feel like I need things to be quiet around me, and stillness. And then if I can get everything like quiet and still around me, all the ideas start to come to the surface, and I can hear them. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just a matter of then like organizing everything. I get paper out and I start writing things down and moving things around. There's lots of arrows and shapes and things. And then once things are kind of constructed, like, I mean, I'm continually recording as we go, but I finally make like a real good whole recording of the song and then archive it, for later. Or I keep learning it. And I have this book too that, like, I always have a rolling book
Mm-hmm.
that I keep the current songs in as I'm, learning them. So I just have that one thing with me that I have to carry until I have them memorized.
Yeah. There we go. Is it? I've always wondered this when musicians do a live show. You've probably played the song enough times to where you have the song in your head. Is there ever a moment when you're playing and you just you forget what to do or forget a lyric? You just kind of freeze a
Yeah,
little bit.
that sometimes happens.
Yeah.
It's weird though, because like the best moments are though also when you're completely lost in it. Like you
Hmm.
forgotten what you're doing, and it's just going along.
Yeah.
Follow me, like and and I guess what's making me realize this is the times that I mess up, that I have that moment that you're describing, are when things are going really well usually,
Yeah.
and then I become conscious of the fact that I'm unconscious.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Then I'll forget where I am or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen very often. I mean, especially when I'm playing solo, that's like the space that I'm really going for, is where you're in that unconscious mode and just the song is coming right through you. I feel like, when it's like that, like when you feel like that, you like that's when I'm playing my best and I make the best contact with the audience.
Okay.
But it's like it's the same as meditating, I think.
Right. Are you a meditator?
I was at one time, not at the moment,
Yeah.
but I understand that I do other things that I think are similar, including play songs. My wife and I like to hike a lot, and I find that a lot of like that time, like out on the trail and the quiet, is very, very much like that
Okay.
as well.
I like to I just like to walk with earbuds and just walk around and just no real direction. I'll just go wherever.
Yeah, I can relate.
Yeah, it's I just sometimes I just when I have trouble thinking something, I'll just go walk. And then, oh hey, I figured everything out. Everything's fine.
Yeah, I mean that's it's funny. Aren't those the times that like you solve the problems that you tried so hard to solve before consciously, and it's like you're out, like listen to those earbuds and the
Yeah.
right idea.
Yeah, that and showering. Those are the two things I can always count on.
Exactly. So I don't know, writing songs and coming up with stuff and performing them. It's all in that same sort of mind space there, I
Yeah.
think.
So Blue Skies for Black Hearts is the album out right now?
Album came out, the last album, the one that you're listening to, came out last July.
Okay, cool.
But it's still, that album has really had some legs. Like, it's funny. I felt really good about it when we released it, and it's fun to watch it. Like, I knew that it would have, like, it would be a slow grower as it got to people, but, like, like the stuff that you said earlier to me about waiting to run. I mean, that was makes me really happy because that's what we were going for.
There we go.
And I just believe in it, and it's just continuing to go, and I'm proud to play it for people and have people hear it. So,
For the people at home who want to pick it up, where can they do that and keep track of you?
there are a few places you can pick it up. Where are you located, Chris?
I'm in San Antonio.
Ah, wow.
Yeah,
Well, if you're in Portland, Oregon, you can pick it up at several local music stores here, including Music Millennium, which is awesome. You can also pick it up online from several locations. It's on Amazon and iTunes and all that fancy stuff. Or even better, and the best one, is go to blueskiesforblackhearts.com and order it through our store, and we'll ship it out to you. And if you head to that link, it'll also take you to patkearnsmusic.com, which is Kearns on the last name. And out there, you'll find like all our solo and band tour dates and all kinds of information and other things that I do, because I'm also this recording guy, so you can find out kind of what's going on there with me.
Okay, awesome.
These days.
Awesome. So everyone go buy multiple copies.
Yes, please.
You know what? Just whenever you're on the road, go see him.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where you are.
I'll be on the road a bunch. I don't know what the plans are yet, but I know that the plan is that I'm going a bunch of places.
There we go.
And that'll be mostly solo.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, hopefully you make it out here to Texas.
Yeah, I'd like to. It's I spend a lot of time in Joshua Tree, California, and it's you're about halfway there from Portland.
There we go. Well, I grew up in Salem, so I know Portland.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, I know where I'm Pacific Northwesterner at heart.
I'm looking at your picture right here online, and
Yeah.
I can see that very much. You look much more like a Pacific Northwesterner than a Texan, I
Well,
gotta say.
you know what? I appreciate that comment. That's going on the website right there. It's going on the website.
Please put that up. That's great.
Well, Pat, I've had a wonderful time chatting with you. I feel like I should let you maybe relax or get back to work, whichever one.
Today I get to hit the road, and I'm going to visit Katie, actually, my PR agent.
There we go. All right. Well, tell her I said hi.
I will.
All right. You have a wonderful day, and anytime you want to come back on, just let me know. All right.
You bet. It was a pleasure talking to you, Chris, and yeah, we'll be in touch soon, I hope.
Yeah. Anytime. You
All
have
right.
You have a good one. All right.
Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.